So I want to be very blunt with you guys in this video because this is something that I see all the time that really is holding hairstylists back when it comes to booking more high-end clientele. If you are trying to build a high-end clientele full of your dream clients in 2024, you need to stop doing basic curls for every single photo that you post on Instagram. And it is so important for you to understand that styling should never be thought of as just a quick afterthought. Maybe you have time for it, maybe you don't. Styling is actually one of the most important reasons that a client will rebook with you, or that a client will find your work and actually like your work enough to book with you. You can do the most beautiful color in the world, but if your styling is not on point and the way that they expect to see it, you are not going to get that client. Now, if you just look at fashion and how jean styles are constantly changing, this is a great example of this. So you can have like the most amazing designer jeans. They are super high quality, they're very expensive, but then if you see a person wearing them wrong, you just think they don't really got it. Their style is just not quite there. You just have a little bit of a different image of them. Even though they're wearing like perfect designer jeans everybody wants, if they're wearing them like 3 sizes too big, it just throws the whole thing off. And this is exactly how clients feel when they look at your work if it's not styled the way that they expect to see it or the way that they want to see it. A lot of hairstylists think that they constantly have to learn new color trends in order to stay relevant to their clientele. But honestly, a lot of staying relevant with the trends is just the way you style the hair.
Okay, I don't know if this is just in my area or if it's everywhere, but I've been trying to find a hairstylist for about an hour now. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm starting to feel nauseous because every single picture on every single hairstylist page looks like this. That like beachy, wavy curl. Every single picture. Now don't get me wrong, it's pretty, but when every single picture on your profile is the beachy curls, I don't want to book you because I don't think you can do anything else. But it would just be nice to see more variety in how you finish the hairstyle when you
So in this video, I wanted to show you how I do one of the more modern styles that is popular right now, and that is that 90s it girl look. Like everybody is so nostalgic about the 90s right now, and everything kind of comes back into style, but just a little bit more refined. So I want to show you how you can get that big, voluminous, not super tight curl, just like a nice blowout look for your clients. And this is great for demonstrating how well you do color too. You don't always have to do curls and beach waves in order to show off dimension and color. You can showcase your color by doing a beautiful blowout look as well. So I want to show you exactly how I do that in this video. And by the way, if you're new here, thank you so much for watching. My name is Lauren, and on this channel, I just love to help hairstylists become more confident with modern foiling techniques, styling, building their clientele to 6 figures while working less. So if that's one of your goals for this year, to make 6 figures as a hairstylist, comment 6 figures below so I know, and let's get right into this video. And full disclaimer, this is not a proper blowout. So a lot of people put their panties up in a wad if you say you're doing a blowout video and you're not using a blow dryer the entire time. I'm not going to use a blow dryer the entire time because you can create this look in different ways. And a lot of people will say, well, that's not a true blowout. It doesn't really matter. It matters what the client's hair type is like and what is most conducive to getting this style to last for them and to make it wearable for them. There are actually some clients who, even if you do the perfect techniques for a blowout, it just literally doesn't hold for them. So using just a blow dryer and a round brush is not the perfect solution for everyone. But when I do it this way, when I combine the blow dryer with the iron, it gives me consistent results. And especially at the end of the service, you're not trying to experiment. You want to make sure that it's going to turn out good so that you can send them on their way. You're exhausted at the end of the service. You don't want to spend extra time being frustrated with something. So if you combine the blow dryer and the iron, you're going to get consistent results. And there is a way to make it look very similar to an authentic blowout. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. So the most important objective when you are creating a look like this is it does not really matter what size curling iron you use. And I will let you know what size curling iron I use, but the main point of using the iron is simply to apply heat. So you can apply heat with a blow dryer, you can apply heat with a curling iron, you could apply heat with a straightener even. But the purpose of using the iron is simply to apply heat. And the way we're able to create this final end result is really how we're setting the hair and how we're brushing it out after. So I don't want you to get too hung up on the products, on the tools. It's really just about this same process, applying heat, setting, cooling, and then brushing out. So that's what I really want you to focus on while you watch me do this demonstration. And I want you to remember that products are not what makes the hair stay. It is actually setting the hair. I will show you what products I use, but I do very minimal products. It's all about how I set and cool the hair. So now that we've covered all of that, let's go ahead and get started with the demonstration. So the first thing that you want to be able to do to get a beautiful blowout is to get the hair really clean. So I'm just using, Kenra's Color Shampoo and Conditioner. I'll throw it up on the screen right here so you can check that one out. It's great, but it doesn't really matter which one you use. You just want to make sure the hair is really clean. Now for products, I used only 2 products to do this. I just used the Redken Acidic Leave-In for her ends and just keep everything nice and smooth. And then I used the Full Volume Mousse just on her roots. The next step is you are going to rough dry the hair 70%, and the roots, you want to get that 100% dry. This is so important to prevent frizziness. This is one of the most important things you can do for a successful blowout. So I've sectioned this off into about 5 sections. I started at the bottom, and you are going to take these sections, you're going to completely smooth it out with a round brush. Once you've smoothed it out, stay in that same section, and then you're going to be curling with a 1.5 inch barrel. You're going to wind it up while it's hot, and you're going to insert a clip at the base. It's so important that you insert this clip to where it is not crunching the top of the section and creating a funky little bend in the hair. So I'm taking sections that are about 2 inches thick. This is by design. If you're used to doing like really beachy waves, you want to take a little bit smaller sections because you want to make sure that everything is getting even heat and everything stays really nicely. But the way that we're going to get this hair to stay is by how we set it. The way that you get hair to last longer in the style that you put it in is to provide heat to it, and then you set it the way you want it to cool, and you let it cool completely. This is how you get it to stay. So it's not by product. That's a big misconception. People think if they just need to put more product in hairspray to get the hair to stay. But if you want longevity out of their hair, the best thing that you can do is make sure to set it as you see me doing here. Another thing that I want to point out too is when I'm taking the sections and curling, I'm holding the curling iron completely horizontal. I'm not doing it vertical and away from the face. That's kind of the typical way of curling, and we are all just so used to that. But when you're trying to get that bouncy blowout look, those horizontal sections will really help you get some lift at the root that actually lasts. So here's just a little recap of each of the steps. So first we blow dry the hair, 100% dry on the roots, 70% dry on the ends. Then we're going to separate the hair into panels. So I'm going to separate out the front section, I'm going to separate out a middle section, and then I'm going to separate out that very bottom section. In each of those panels, I'm going to have maybe 2 to 3 sections to work with, and I'm working in big chunks. So I'll drop down a panel of hair, and then I'm going to smooth it out with the round brush as smooth as possible. But instead of creating the bend with the round brush, I'm using the curling iron to apply heat. Then I'm winding up the hair and settling it at the root with a clip. And the only different thing that I did in the front is I used a thermal roller. And the reason you use a thermal roller is because it helps to conduct heat, right? So it helps keep that heat in a little bit longer, and then you just let it cool around that, and it helps to set it really, really well. And using a roller in the front just really helps to add that little bit of extra drama and volume to the face frame that clients absolutely love. So that's the only little difference that I do at the front there. Now at this point, you can spray down the hair with like a light hairspray as it is setting and cooling, but it's not completely necessary. The setting part alone is really going to give you longevity out of the style. Now what I'm doing is making sure that the hair is completely cool, and then I'm going to start to one by one take all of the sections out. And by the way, this is my home salon, so you saw my little kiddo walk through there. Sorry about that, but not really because he's super cute. But this is my home salon, so you may see that every once in a while. So I'm just taking the sections out one by one, and I'm not brushing them out yet. Just like any other style, I like to keep letting things just settle on their own, and then once I've taken everything out, then I start to spray it down just to give it a little bit more hold, and then I start to manipulate and brush it out and move it exactly where I want it to lay. One thing to remember about creating this look is you are not going for a perfect curl. You're really just going for volume and movement in the hair. So you don't need the curls to be super tight. In fact, you're going to rely on them falling a little bit throughout the day. You just want that smooth, bend, voluminous wave throughout the hair. So go ahead and use your fingers, shake it out, make sure it's nice and smooth. I usually like to take that front roller out as the very last thing I do, just to make sure it has the most chance of keeping that volume right in the front. So right now I'm using my Mason Pearson brush, and that's because it has really fine bristles and it creates a really fluffy look when you brush out the hair. When you use something with more wider teeth, you can see all of the different curls in the hair, and for this look I really want it to look really smooth and not defined curls. So I'm using this Mason Pearson brush just to fluff everything up, smooth everything out. And here is the final look. I just love creating the bouncy blowout this way because I know that the iron is going to give me that consistency and longevity, and it's just a lot easier to do. I'm only like 5'2", so trying to pull the hair up straight off the head with a blow dryer and round brushing it is really difficult for me. So this is my favorite way to do it. I always know it's going to turn out great every single time. We actually did end up filming a tutorial for this transformation. It was actually a box dye transformation. She had brown box dye and we transformed her into this really pretty golden blonde. So if you'd like to see that, click the video on this screen right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's such an honor to have you here. Click that video and I will see you over there.